This is Tyler Blevins, who not only used to be the face of Fortnite and the most followed and subscribed person on Twitch, but also the best gaming buddy of Marshmello and Drake. But something went horribly wrong, causing such a strong decline of his mental state and viewership that almost nobody remembers him today anymore. But how did this happen? Honestly, Tyler was just someone like us that went to school, met up with friends to hang out, and played video games on his Xbox whenever he had the chance to.
My dad loves video games. He had them in the house and we just kind of stumbled upon them, me and my brothers.
Gaming was where it instantly clicked for him, and despite playing a variety of games, there was one in particular that would draw all of his attention.
Dude, it all started with Halo 1. My brother got it. And I think I was like 12 or 11 when the game came out.
Although him being just a normal kid, there was something very special about him. And it would be the release of Halo 2 and Microsoft launching Xbox Live that would not only make him realize that, but also change the course of his entire life.
I remember specifically the time where there was this Halo 2 playlist that came out as a free-for-all playlist. I forget the exact name of it. But I eventually ranked up so high in that playlist, and a bunch of other professional Halo players at the time were also playing in it because it was for a tournament. And I was beating them in games and getting the top 3, top 4 with them in free-for-alls.
The problem was that becoming just a talented player in the casual scene wasn't enough. Tyler wanted to compete with the best players in the world, but he didn't know how.
Like, I knew of MLG, right? I knew that it existed. I didn't know that you could go to these events. And then people were like, hey bro, you want to go to a tournament? And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah dude, we can go to one of these tournaments and try to like win it. And I was like, holy yeah. So,
and there was another major problem. College was knocking on Tyler's door, and with his parents pleading for him to focus on it and the competitive scene improving constantly, he was running out of time.
I was going to school for a while, like part-time classes while I was streaming for my mom. And, I literally did it for her. And then eventually we started making great money. And I say great money, I mean, I was making a little bit more than minimum wage. And I was like, all right, mom, I'm gonna try this full time. And then she was like, okay, but if you ever don't make more than like 60,000 in a year, you have to go back to school. I was like, okay.
Knowing that he only had this one chance to prove himself, while at the same time attending classes and working at a noodle shop, put so much pressure and anxiety on him that he almost lost his mind. He just wasn't making enough.
Clearly the money wasn't, too crazy in Halo. Even what you said, you won a tournament for $1,000. So I'm assuming...
Yeah, those locals, they were awful. I mean, even if you made money, even if you won every MLG tournament, like, you're splitting it 4 ways to travel to get there.
Having no savings and being so short on time made it very clear that he had to find a solution.
But a friend of mine, we were on the same team, he was like, hey, our owner is like really wants, to get into the streaming thing. He actually wanted it to be on his website, which is away from Justin TV, but it wasn't up yet and it wasn't ready. So I ended up getting a capture card, starting to stream in preparation of being able to stream on his website, but that completely fell through. So I was just streaming on Justin TV.
Streaming had Ninja instantly hooked, but with more time testing out his new experience, he lost not only focus on his esports career, but was also doubting if attending tournaments was even worth it anymore.
I think like the big moment was when I got pinged by my buddy Mark, and he was like, hey dude, would you be interested in being in our partnership program, because no one was really making money yet. And I was like, yeah dude, what's that? And then like, ad revenue, you could get ad revenue and then you could get sub revenue.
Yep.
People could subscribe to your stream. And then dude, I got my first check after like the first month and a half.
And that's when things really took off. Going from playing only Halo to murdering the entire H1Z1 scene with his friends and even contesting in tournaments, to later shifting his entire focus to PUBG as it became the hottest release in the Battle Royale scene. But even that was short-lived when a very special game made its release in 2017. Opinions and reviews about Fortnite started spreading like a wildfire, with many talking bad about the game and not liking the looks of it. But it was that exact moment of negative spotlight that convinced Ninja to test the game itself and form his own opinion on it.
And I was like, all right, this game's great. A lot of the top streamers and top players from PUBG are like kind of bashing on the game, and they're not streaming it, right? They played it and now they're just gonna continue to play PUBG. But I was watching every single time they were playing and it looked incredibly fun to me. So that was when I just decided like, all right, this is the perfect opportunity to switch over just go full-time Fortnite.
What Ninja back then didn't know was that this was not only the beginning of his famous rise, but also a mental nightmare.
Ninja.
You ninja. You're like 37 years old, blue hair.
Yo, who the fuck do you think you are?
But none of this mattered, cause he was having fun again at playing something new, and it was during those first few months that he would fall into the eyes of someone very special.
All right, I should have enough materials to.
Ooh, you sniped me. That is crazy.
Holy shit! All right, well, I'm gonna try to revive you. If they launch on me though, I'm 100% gonna just kill him.
Yeah, no, you got it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the other one just landed behind you. He's
got it. Let me know if he's reviving his teammate.
Yeah, he is. He's reviving his teammate. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Got it, baby.
Yeah, there we go. Let's get it, man.
Let's go, baby.
This stream alone brought a totally new spotlight on Ninja, and what followed next was another stream a few weeks later that would break all of Twitch's records.
Like 210 down below there, he's taking the shots to AR. One headshot, still has shield. The player could have about 130 left, which means the AR spam is still pretty important before maybe he pushes for a shotty knockouts like that.
Oh, 5,000 on the line for this player if he kills Ninja. He peeks the corner, gets weakened. Ninja down to 30 HP. He'll take some damage to the storm. 5 health in total. No! Shotgun out. Ninja looking for the fight. Whips the first shot. Whips the second. The challenge comes in. Can Ninja win his first game? The Rockets are out. Ninja!
Now being put in such a big spotlight so early on not only brought a lot of excitement, but also a bunch of concerns, since many pros started slowly migrating into Fortnite and beating all of his previous kill records left and right. And with that, Ninja's old personality slowly started to change. While his old self was extremely focused on becoming better at the game and being himself, this new version of him cared a lot more about his public image and what people thought of him. And this clearly showed when he started appearing in mainstream media such as The Ellen Show and a Super Bowl ad. But this wasn't even the worst part.
You were fucking killing it. Like,
Yeah.
when you were playing, you
I
were...
don't think I got on Drake's radar, bro. Like,
Exactly.
Becoming the new face of Fortnite and one of the first Red Bull athletes looked like he was at the peak of his career. But nothing could have been further from the truth when he decided to sign a contract that would negatively impact the entire future of his career.
You had Twitch, and then you had Facebook Gaming, and then you had Mixer, right?
Yeah.
And then you decided to leave Twitch where you're killing it at, and you go to Mixer.
So, what happens to all these people? This is just a big win for Tifia.
Everybody disliked his decision, and maybe that didn't matter at the time, but it surely uncovered something very important. Money was above the people who had supported him for years and were now being excluded from his stream due to Mixer's unnecessary complexity.
It went under. Mixer went under, and it's because they suck, dude. And what I mean by they suck is they didn't listen, dude. And what I mean by they didn't listen is, if for those who don't know, Microsoft owns Mixer, but but Mixer wasn't a solo entity, right? So like Mixer couldn't. One of the things it's small things that make people enjoy stream. It's small things that make people enjoy a website or a platform. And one of the biggest issues is you had to have a Hotmail account. Yeah, you had to have a Hotmail account or a Microsoft email. To
be able to view, to watch,
to log in and watch.
Yeah,
dude.
Surely you could argue that Mixer shutting itself down after just 1 year and letting go of Ninja couldn't have possibly done a lot of damage to his success and likability. But sadly, that was far from the truth, as he himself had extremely changed.
Well, dude, it's astonishing that there are still children, right? Because that's who they are. That like are trying to gaslight me into thinking that like I should be playing builds. Bro, I'm 33 years old. I'm on 40 ping maximum. I'm never going to play builds again. I can't do it. I can't keep up.
And it wasn't just the chat that was noticing Ninja's shift in behavior, but also his close friends that he always used to play with.
This guy Ninja loses his fucking mind, man. Just goes nuts.
you know, Tim's entire chat is just like, get this fucking guy out of here. And he's just like, nope.
It almost seemed like his attempt on trying to create the perfect media image had changed him so much that he had forgotten what his fanbase had originally liked him for. He once used to be a gamer that never took stuff personal and loved the shit talk. But now, he was nothing more than an empty shadow of his old self that thought that everybody around him was always against him no matter what.
I just asked you to stop calling out for a second.
Dude, you got it. Dude, listen, man. It's the way you say it, and literally you have 8,000 people that are also watching you, and they don't know.
Tyler, did you watch what I said?
It's sure to say that Fortnite's constant decline during 2020 played a major role in his very present mood swings, as well as the never happening viewer bounce back that he had hoped for after coming back from Mixer. But being super sensitive and toxic, while at the same time trying to act as if everything was perfectly fine to the outside world, definitely wasn't doing him a favor either.
It's still just an ego thing, bro, for sure. For me personally, like I don't like I know that like viewership is low in general for gaming across the board right now, but like, dude,
it's just really sad to see that someone like Ninja, who used to be an icon in gaming, that shit talked daily, never took anything personal, while at the same time having a crazy set of skills, would turn into a very lonely mess by just having made a few unforgiving mistakes.
like I just want to play with my boys, dude. Like I want to play Valorant off stream with the boys. You know, me, Tim, Dennis, Courage, play League, whatever, but no one plays just the same game. There's too much going on. It sucks.